but for you, because you're watching this video, we'll give you that calculator for free as well. Hey, Kevin A. Malsh, Pine Financial Group, where we work together so you succeed. Hey, you found us here on Facebook, you found us here on YouTube. Please do me a favor. We're trying to help more real estate investors just like you. We could do that by growing our channel. So the favor is please hit like, hit subscribe, and maybe leave me some comments below. I'm working from home today, and I was just wrapping up my most recent book, Fund Your Flip. Goes into a lot of detail about how to fund your fix and flips, how to make your offers on your fix and flips. But it also talks a little bit about rental properties and how to buy rental properties, little no money down, using the BRRRR strategy. And one of the ways I like to analyze a property is to set a profit, or in this case, a monthly cash flow, and then calculate back into what I could pay for the property. So we call that the MAO, or the maximum allowable offer. Very common strategy with the fix and flips, but a lot of people don't use that same type of formula for the fix up and rent properties. So I created a worksheet years ago, and you could just do it by hand, how to work your way into a maximum offer for rental property. And part of that formula is complicated because it takes amortization on your 30-year fixed rate loan into account. So you need like a financial calculator or some type of amortization schedule to come up with your offer. So as I'm writing this book, I decided I would just build a calculator in Excel, and then I'm going to give that away to anyone who buys the book. But for you, because you're watching this video, we'll give you that calculator for free as well. So let me just show this to you quickly so you can get an idea of how I would make my offers. You could see my screen now, I believe. Okay, so what I wanted to accomplish here was, if I'm going to do a conventional purchase, how would I come up with my offer? And if I was going to do a BRRRR strategy, buy, rent, rehab, refinance, and repeat, how I'm going to come up with my MAO, or my maximum offer. And for the BRRRR, there's two here. You have a down payment and you have a no down payment option. So these would be your offers depending on if you were, if there's a down payment, like an acceptable down payment amount for you. So I'm just going to go through an example here, what I just plugged in. I tested this several times, so I'm pretty confident it works. But let's just say an ARV after repaired value of $200,000. And I think that house would rent for $1,600. So I'm just totally guessing. I could put anything in here that I wanted. Let's say it's $1,650. Then you put in a vacancy rate and a maintenance rate. Now, vacancy is very common to see a 5% vacancy factor. So I'd probably, if I were you, just leave that the same, although it does give you flexibility to change it. Maintenance on a single family home. I know I get some pushback on this. People tell me that 10% is too high. They're not seeing that much in maintenance, but over 2 decades of investing, what I've seen is it's about 10% when you also consider a reserve to replace. So for an example, if you have a water heater or a furnace or something like a big ticket item like that, go out in your rental property. Now that's not going to go out every single month, right? But if you spread that out over the life that you're going to own the rental property, and you try to, save a little bit each month to account for those larger expenses, I've found that a 10% maintenance number is pretty close to accurate. So I would use that. You could maybe even go a little bit higher. I know other investors would cringe when they say that, but I really do think that 10-ish%, maybe a little bit higher, is the correct number there. And then you just, on an annual basis, you pay your insurance and your taxes. We want to account for those here. Property management, if you're going to have, 10%, or some people can get it for 8%. I do recommend you put something in there. But if you're going to manage it yourself and you don't want to include a management fee, then clearly you could put 0. HOA is going to account for anything like HOA. Other is going to count for anything other, like an HOA. So if there's a homeowners association or other monthly reoccurring fees, special assessments, that kind of thing. And then here we go. This is where it gets interesting. You got to put in here what you want to make on a monthly basis. Now, this is net. So after your expenses, after your vacancies, after your maintenance, what is all left over, your net number. Some people say, you know, as long as I'm breaking even, that's okay. I would say you put something in here, $200, $250, something reasonable, what you'd be okay making on a monthly basis. And then you have all your other benefits, right? Your tax benefits, your property appreciation, the tenant paying off your mortgage for you, so you're reducing your loan balance every month. All of those extra benefits are extra. What we're really focused on here is a cash on cash or monthly cash flow. So then you put your interest rate on your final loan. So whatever your 30-year fixed rate is going to be. So I put 7%. It's probably, as I record this, it's probably a tad higher than that, but we'll see as time progresses that will likely slide back down in the sixes somewhere in the coming year. Long term, no, so the long term. So I'm almost always, you're going to do a 30-year, but if you want to go 15, 20, whatever it is, plug that in there. And then how much money is the rental property, this $200,000 house, what's it going to take to rehab it? So what's your construction number? We throw that in here. All of this is going to assume you're buying a dilapidated property that you're going to rehab and rent out. Okay, so there should be some number in there for your construction. Now, if you're going to use the BRRRR strategy and you want to limit your down payment, what is an acceptable down payment? In this example, I use 10%, but maybe I'm willing to go 15% down. Lender points. So we charge, in Colorado, we're charging 2 points. Other markets, we're charging a tad more. Minnesota, I know it's 4. I think DC might be 3 points. I don't know. I'd have to double check on that. But whatever your hard money lender is charging you in lender points, that's what you would put here. And then your hard money interest rate. Of course, this all assumes you're using the BRRRR strategy and not just a conventional purchase. And then how long is it going to take you to get it all fixed up and a tenant in place, so you could start using the tenant's money to pay your mortgage instead of out of your own pocket every month, right? So let's be conservative on a timeline here. How long is it going to take you to spend 30 grand in construction and find a tenant? So I put 3 months here. So once you have all of these inputs in, I did want to point out these notes here. On the conventional analysis here, I'm assuming a 25% down payment and a 1% origination fee. All right, let's go through this. So the conventional purchase, net operating income on a monthly basis after all expenses, $1,020. So that's your net number. That does include taxes and insurance. So when you're calculating your maximum payment, we're only focused on principal and interest. Okay, principal and interest. So I could pay up to $820.50 every month and hit my required cash flow number. Okay, so then we use that monthly payment to back into a maximum loan. So the maximum we could borrow is here, 123 grand. And then because this is a 25% down payment deal here, I could pay up to $164,000 on that purchase to hit that required cash flow. So everything is determined by this cash flow. If I'm okay with $100 a month, you can see how all of those numbers change. All right, now in the BRRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. The maximum hard money loan is going to be the lesser of the maximum of 70% of the after repaired value, which is what Pine Financial Group will lend, or I use 98% of the maximum loan on the conventional. And the reason I'm backing that off 2% from our maximum end loan is to account for the closing costs when you do your refinance into your permanent loan. So in this example, the maximum I'm going to want to borrow from my hard money lender is $135,000. Okay, from that, I could back into a maximum offer. If I'm going to use 10% down payment, I could offer the seller 115 grand. If I want a no money down deal, where the hard money lender is going to finance all my purchase, all my construction, and all my closing costs, then I need to get that seller to accept an offer of $100,000. So you can see how that works. And this one I found very interesting. So 7% right now, but look what it does if you go to 6. So let's say rates go down. On the conventional world, you could actually pay more than the property is even worth to hit that cash flow number. The amount you can offer goes up significantly depending on this interest rate. So that's why we pay such close attention to mortgage rates when we're making our offers to buy rental properties. So the last two, these are just little bonuses in the calculator here. We have the out of pocket. So if you're going to do this deal conventionally, you're going to need 85 grand to get the deal done. That's going to include the $30,000 in construction. That is not, you're not able to put that into a conventional loan. So your down payment, your closing costs plus 30 grand. That's where the 85,000 comes from. And then the 15,000 if you're going to do the BRRRR strategy with the 10% down payment, or I'm sorry, 15% in this example. If you're going to do 10%, you can see that go down. Now, obviously, it only matters with the down payment option, because if you do a no money down BRRRR, you're going to have no money down. Finally, the cash on cash return. So if you're going to conventional and you get this property for 204 grand, your cash on cash is 1.3%, and the BRRRR strategy is 8.1. Those are the numbers, and I know these returns seem so low, but that's because we did the cash flow of only 100. So go back up to something where I would want to see more like 200, 250 bucks a month. You can see your return using a BRRRR goes up significantly. So if you want the spreadsheet, let's go ahead and get that to you. I'm going to want you to email Callie, and she could send this to you. And Callie is CALLIE at pinefinancialgroup.com. And just send her a quick email, and she'll send you this spreadsheet for free. That's great. If you have any questions, please leave me some comments below. What do you think about this strategy and how to come up with an offer amount on your rental properties? I'd love to hear your feedback. And if there's anything we could do, feel free to reach out. You could check us out. You can find us at pinefinancialgroup.com.